Now to a big test for the high-end art market. Robert Frank joins us now with that story. Good morning.
Good morning, Joe. Good to see you. Is the biggest sale of the year in the world's biggest art market. More than $1 billion worth of art is headed to auction at Christie's, Sotheby's, and Phillips next week. That would be down 17% from last year, and that's if things go well. Auction sales fell 18% in the first quarter. Contemporary art, that's been the big money maker over the past decade, that plunged 48% in the first quarter. Dealers and collectors say the market is stalled over price. Buyers want a 20% discount. Sellers want prices back to the peak in 2022.
The market is often defined by the supply that's available. So we're seeing, I think, what people perceive as perhaps a smaller offering this season.
One of the stars of the week is this Francis Bacon portrait of George Dyer. That could go for $30 to $50 million. Christie's has a big Bryce Martin called Event, also estimated at $30 to $50 million. That artist passed away last year, so that could increase that value. The top artist of the week, though, is Basquiat. He's got this collaboration with Warhol at Sotheby's, estimated at $18 million. By the way, that sold for $2.7 just 14 years ago. And this Basquiat at Christie's is called The Italian Version of Popeye Has No Pork in His Diet. That's not been seen in public for 20 years. That's estimated at $30 million. Now, for more on the art market and where the wealthy are investing and spending their money, you can check out our new Inside Wealth newsletter at cnbc.com/InsideWealth.
For a second, because I'm reading it now quite religiously, and it's really well done.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, guys.
People working with you on that because it's
it's all him.
Do you really write all of that yourself?
I do. I love it. It's great. It's great. And this week we have a sort of more detailed look at the art market, and more importantly, what's happening in the private market, which is the part of the art market you don't see. That market's really strong. So the question is, why is the auction market so weak and private? So that's why you can read the newsletter.
There's another interesting story lower down that I really liked. Hang on.
Ferrari story. We talk about how hard it is to buy a Ferrari. We talk about the richest cities in the world.
Yeah.
Put up the QR code so people can get it. It really is worth it. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
And I'll thank you too. But
thank you.
Bryce Martin.
Never
heard of him.
What?
No. The Francis Bacon, wasn't there a triptych from a couple of years ago that was the... How much did that went for? Like $100 million.
Yeah, so that was Steve Wynn's wife bought that piece. That was
before he didn't put his elbow.
That was the Picasso that he put his elbow through. But you're absolutely right. Francis Bacon loved triptychs, diptychs. He loved these series. And this painting is one of the rare part of this series of 10 that he did, portraits of monumental portraits of George Dyer, that is not a triptych or a diptych, so you can buy it as
Fill me in on George Dyer, another artist.
It was his lover for years who killed himself, and so it was a tragedy in his own life, but the great love of Francis Bacon's life. And so those portraits were not only artistically important, but also personally a big part of his life. Tragic story. Joe, as you know, many of these artists had tragic lives.
Tortured a lot of the time.
Yes.
It makes their art seem
although
he
wasn't a tortured poor artist. Actually, Francis Bacon came from a wealthy family, so he did have money from family, not from his
Bacon magnate.
Yes.
Probably not. But Bryce, what is he known for? How would I recognize
him? So he's
him?
a colorist. I don't know if we can put that piece up there.
I saw that. Yeah, it looked impressive.
But really beautiful, these ribbons of color. He was abstract expressionist who just... The colors, you can't even do it justice on the screen, but the colors are, and he produced, but not a lot, and the fact that even before he passed away, his art was selling for sort of $10 to $12 million, so now he's not making any more. And these are giant. I mean, you talk about wall power. If you have a mansion in Palm Beach or Miami or even New York, and you put that on a big white wall, it's a Bryce Martin. People know it right away, and it's beautiful colors.
And if you have a mansion in Palm Beach these days, you don't have to ask what this costs, probably.
More than your mansion, probably. Really? Yeah. Some of these paintings, yeah.
All right.
Robert, you are a Renaissance man. You know about everything. You can ask
well, the art market, I love. My parents were artists. My dad was a painter, so I grew up with the art market, and so I love the whole world of art. It's like Joe, you live in an art-related family.
You have no idea. You've been to Hunt's studio too. It's crazy. Yeah, I know. I got. Yeah, it's everywhere. You can't walk around the living room. I swear to God, it's just everywhere.
It's a gift.
Is it? Is it? Okay.
Yes.
We'll look at it. We'll look at it that way from now on. All right.